What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Katie and Abundant Legacy back with another video. Um, we're going to be continuing our exploration through the Psalms. Today we'll be looking at Psalm 7. I did switch it up a little bit. I want to hit up three things in the text because I found myself speaking more in the last few Psalms, speaking more than I wanted to. And so I felt like if I could structure it a little bit better, I won't ramble as much. And so a couple of things we're going to be looking for is the favorite lyric. We're going to be looking for speaking my language, which means I can identify with this a little bit, and encouraging moments. So that's what we'll be looking for in this text. Okay. I don't know what's going on with my lighting, but hey, we're here. All right. So looking at Psalm 7, I'm going to go ahead and start reading. And it reads as such: a psalm of David, which he sang to the Lord concerning Cush of the tribe of Benjamin. I came to you for protection, O Lord my God. Save me from my persecutors, rescue me. If you don't, they will maul me like a lion, tearing me to pieces with no one to rescue me. O Lord my God, if I have done wrong or am guilty of injustice, if I have betrayed a friend or plundered my enemy without cause, then let my enemies capture me. Let them trample me into the ground and drag my honor in the dust. Interlude or Selah. Pause and think about that. Arise, O Lord, in anger. Stand up against the fury of my enemies. Wake up, my God, and bring justice. Gather the nations before you. Rule over them from on high. The Lord judges the nations. Declare me righteous, O Lord, for I am innocent, O Most High. End the evil of those who are wicked, and defend the righteous, for you look deep within the mind and heart, O righteous God. God is my shield, saving those whose hearts are true and right. God is an honest judge. He is angry with the wicked each day. If a person does not repent, God will sharpen his sword. He will bend and string his bow. He will prepare his deadly weapons and shoot his flaming arrows. The wicked conceive evil. They are pregnant with trouble and give birth to lies. They dig a deep pit to trap others, then fall into it themselves. The trouble they make for others backfires on them. The violence they plan falls on their own heads. I will thank the Lord because he is just. I will sing praise to the name of the Lord my Most High. All right, so he was spitting in this one. I think my favorite lyric here, my favorite lyric here is part B of line 9. Basically, the second part of that is where he says, for you look deep within the mind and heart, O righteous God. That is crucial. If God is looking deep within our hearts and our minds, separating the two, but seeing them both, if he's the one that's looking deep within our hearts and in our minds, then we want to make sure we guard them and we're putting the right things in them and we're exposing them to the right things. We also want to make sure that whatever's in our hearts, whatever we're pouring into because our hearts typically don't just have stuff in them without something being poured into them. And so we have to be mindful about what we're pouring into our hearts and our minds, because God is right there looking at those. He's searching those. He's looking at what we're pouring in our hearts and our minds. And if he's doing that and we want to honor him, then we want to make sure we're pouring the right things inside. And so that's my favorite lyric. Speaking my language. That part is kind of two lines here. 14 and 15, where he says, the wicked conceive evil. They are pregnant with trouble and give birth to lies. Just that first one. And then the second one's in 15, it says, they dig a deep pit to trap others, then fall into it themselves. Actually 16 as well. The trouble they make for others backfires on them. The violence they plan falls on their own heads. I think speaking my language because oftentimes I am a cheerleader for the underdog, but I'm also a cheerleader for people who have been abused and mistreated. And I think with social media, seeing the minds of some people and how they like verbally abuse online, it makes me think, what are you doing And I know in reality people are not as brave as they are online, but still it's in their hearts. We just talked about that. But what are you doing to people? How are you talking about people right now shows how you possibly could treat somebody else. And so they think, a lot of times people think they're being cute, they think they're being funny, they can just say whatever they want to say, do whatever they want to do. Think about, value people however they want to value people. That's a crucial one. Respect people however they think people should be respected. And in doing so, it's like they're pregnant with trouble. Why? Because out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth is going to speak, or the fingers are going to type. And so if they're pregnant with all this trouble and giving birth to lies, they're trying to trap others, then eventually they'll find themselves in the same trap they're trying to set for others. And it'd be different if they wanted to be free of those things. But in many cases, what I've seen is they celebrate the abuse that they have towards others. All right, moving on. Encouraging moment after that deep stuff. Encouraging moment. The encouraging moment in this psalm to me, beyond the second part of line 9, was 10, where he says, God is my shield, saving those whose hearts are true and right. And then part A of 11, where it says, God is an honest judge. That's encouraging because God is a shield, so that means shields protect us. So God is my protection. Who can penetrate the protection of God, right? And what's most valuable to us, we want to think it's our bodies, our flesh, which it is very important. But the most important thing is the thing that's going to stick with us even when our bodies decay, and that's our hearts and our minds, our souls. And so really, he says saving those whose hearts are true and right. And so his shield is most definitely for our hearts. And so when everything else is going chaos and it looks like we should lose our mind, I seen somebody say today that Christians are the most anxious, fearful people on the face of the earth. And I'm like, you have no idea. And they were speaking of it in relation to the end times, because I've been looking at that, and I'm still like, you have no idea. We literally, I don't know about y'all, but I'm looking forward to the return of Jesus. I know things are going to probably get a little bad, but recognizing that it is the end times and these things are going to happen lets me know that I have nothing to fear. Yes, it may get really, really bad, but the expectation, if it's getting really bad like the Bible said it would, the Bible's already true, but it's saying what's going to happen. And so I can have confidence that if it's saying that this is going to happen, what it also says is what's going to be great for the believers is going to happen as well. And so even though, and I don't want to be like this like cocky Christian, like I'm never afraid, but even if fear arises and fear comes around, I don't have to hold on to it too long. It's been your girl KD with Abundant Legacy, hoping you got encouraged by this, and hoping that we can continue this. And I like the 3 things, even though I still went a little long. I think the little bit more structure kind of helps us break down what we just read. It is an old school song in the Psalms, and so we're gonna continue through these Psalms and try to get through them, and try to get as much as we can from them. And the true goal is that you're encouraged and that you find peace in the Psalm. I think the writer of the Psalm, in many cases, was displaying what was on his heart and trying to find peace. And I think he did that. So anyway, I will catch you guys in the next video. Be encouraged. Go and encourage somebody else. And hustle and peace is your legacy. See you guys on the next one.